servidor.
Hey y'all, tonight we learn of Abner. His name means my father is Ner. Biblical data. According to 1 Corinthians 8, 29 through 33, and Josephus, an uncle of Saul. Okay, so Abner is an uncle of Saul, yet he is also his cousin. Okay, so Abner is Saul's cousin uncle. He was Saul's captain of the host. After the fatal battle at Mount Gilboa, Abner kept all the tribes except Judah faithful to Ishbosheth. Then in refuge at Mahanaim, the disastrous battle at the pool of Gibeon sealed the fate of Saul's kingdom. Abner, by the way, Saul is the same as Sheol, which is the Hebrew word for hell. So Saul is the personification of hell in his kingdom, or hell, as opposed to the kingdom of God. Right? They left God's kingdom to make a man their king, and his name is hell. Let's see. The disastrous battle at the pool of Gibeon sealed the fate of Saul's kingdom. Abner, smarting under a malign charge of Ishbosheth, privately turned over his allegiance and influence with the tribes of David. Joab, David's captain of the host. What is the host? What is the meaning of that? Through jealousy and out of vengeance for Asahel's death, treacherously slew Abner, who was buried amid royal mourning in Hebron. According to a Jewish tradition, Abner was the son of the witch of Endor. Ooh. Okay, so Saul is related to the witch of Endor, whom he consulted. Okay, so he's a Benjaminite. Witch people, yeah? I mean, the witches are in the family. In rabbinical literature, son of the witch of Endor, and the hero par excellence in the Haggadah. Conscious of his extraordinary strength, he exclaimed, "If I could only catch hold of the earth, I could shake it." A saying which parallels the famous utterance of Archimedes, "Had I a fulcrum, I could move the world." According to the Midrash, it would have been easier to move a wall 6 yards thick than one of the feet of Abner, who could hold the Israelitish army between his knees. And I'm to think they're speaking literally, right? Yet when his time came, Joab smote him. But even in his dying hour, Abner seized his foe like a ball of thread, threatening to crush him. Then the Israelites came and pleaded for Joab's life, saying, "If thou killest him, we shall be orphaned, and our women and all our belongings will become a prey to the Philistines." Abner answered, "What can I do? He has extinguished my light, has wounded me fatally." The Israelites replied, "Entrust thy cause to the true judge, which is God." Then Abner released his hold upon Joab and fell dead to the ground. The rabbis agree that Abner deserved this violent death, though opinions differ concerning the exact nature of the sin that entailed so dire a punishment on one who was, on the whole, considered a righteous man. The righteous son of the witch of Endor. Come on. Some reproach him that he did not use his influence with Saul to prevent him from murdering the priests of Nob. Convinced as he was of the innocence of the priests and of the propriety of their conduct toward David. Abner holding that as leader of the army, David was privileged to avail himself of the Urim and Thummim. Instead of contenting himself with passive resistance to Saul's command to murder the priests. Oh, wow, wait, so Saul commanded Abner to murder the priests? Abner ought to have tried to restrain the king. Abner was the leader of the army of David. I'm not trying to understand this. He did not use his influence with Saul to prevent him from murdering the priests. Saul murdered the priests. Instead of contenting himself with passive resistance to Saul's command to murder the priests, Abner ought to have tried to restrain the king. Others maintain that Abner did make such an attempt, but in vain, and that his one sin consisted in that he delayed the beginning of David's reign over Israel by fighting him after Saul's death for 2 years and a half. Others, again, while excusing him for this in view of a tradition founded on Genesis so-and-so, according to which there were to be 2 kings of the house of Benjamin, blame Abner for having prevented a reconciliation between Saul and David on the occasion when the latter, in holding up the skirt of Saul's robe, showed how unfounded was the king's mistrust of him. What the hell am I reading? Saul was inclined to be pacified, but Abner, representing to him that David might have found the piece of the garment anywhere, possibly caught on a thorn.